Hey guys, welcome to this first tutorial on keyboard shortcuts for DaVinci Resolve. As wedding filmmakers, it's important that we use keyboard shortcuts to keep our editing times low. That enables us to enjoy the rest of our lives and not spend all day in front of the computer. So I recommend start learning keyboard shortcuts from the very beginning, get used to it, and it will improve your quality of life. So guys, I'm going to give you a little bit of theory about keyboard shortcuts before we jump into it, because you can customize these to your own requirements, but just bear in mind the basic theory of keeping everything in the same place. So when we're using keyboard shortcuts, we basically don't want our hand to have to move much at all during the process. The more distance our hand has to move between different keys is going to take more time. So basically, I would suggest having your hand over on the left side of the keyboard like this, and having all your primary shortcuts around here. So QWE, ASD, ZXC. If you can keep the shortcuts that you use the most to here, it's going to save you having to move your hand around. Now, as DaVinci Resolve is used for all sorts of applications like feature films and documentaries, the keys they have by default are not the keys we use the most as wedding filmmakers. So I've reprogrammed these keys to what I use the most. If you're new to wedding filmmaking, I suggest you just download the file that I'm including with this course and import it. I'm going to show you how to do that now. So if you just head over to the left, click DaVinci Resolve, hit keyboard customization, hit these 3 points, click import preset, and basically install the download that you'll get from this course. And then all your keys will be mapped to what I recommend. However, if you're used to using another editing platform like Final Cut, you may want to change these. So basically, I'm going to go through all the key critical shortcuts now, tell you what they're called so you can set them up. So basically, if you want to change the shortcut to something you're familiar with, what we'll do is we'll find the name of the shortcut here. So let's say first one, start to playhead. And here we go, let's find it in Ripple, start to playhead. Now, currently it says Q. I can delete that and add another one, but I like Q, so I'm putting Q back in. And guys, that's how you change it. But if you find that doesn't work, you might find it's because that shortcut is mapped to somewhere else. So you may have to find the command by clicking on it, say here, and then just deleting it if it's already used somewhere else. That confused me to begin with, because when I first started changing shortcuts, it didn't work, but that's because they're already mapped somewhere else. You have to just make sure where it's mapped is deleted, because DaVinci doesn't automatically do that. All right, guys, so let's have a look at some of these shortcuts and the actions that they perform. So to begin with, my most commonly used shortcut basically enables you to cut everything before the playhead, which is this thing, and ripple the timeline. So here we've got the next clip. So I want to cut everything before the playhead. I can press one button. And you notice it's not deleting the audio. If I hit that button here, it will. That's just the linking and unlinking of audio. So guys, this function is called start to playhead. Let's find it in here. Keyboard customization, we just looked at this one. Search start to playhead, and it's in trim ripple. Start to playhead. So I've used Q for this because it's right there on where I keep my hand. super close and I use it all the time. So these top three is what I'm going to use most of the time, and my fingers are right there resting. Now the brother to start to playhead is called end to playhead. And basically that deletes everything after the playhead. So anything after the playhead gets cut. So guys, you can quite easily go through your footage, hit start to playhead, have a little bit. When you're happy with that, hit end to playhead, and you've made your cut of that clip. And I can use the mouse to go for a bit faster. All right, so for me, I've used W right next to Q. Let's hit end to playhead. It's also in trim ripple. So guys, if you want to change it to something else, hit cross, type it in. Don't forget to delete it if it's anywhere else already, otherwise it's not going to work. Right, so that's start and end to playhead. But what if you're going through, you want to cut the beginning out and then you're happy with it a little bit, but you're not sure if in the rest of the clip there might be something you want to use. Then basically we use a command called razor. And for me, I've put E as that. So I've got Q, W and E all right next to each other. And then I can look through and I can use start to playhead or end to playhead again, just so I can make a few cuts if I want to use a few clips from one clip. So here, it was a bit out of focus to begin with. I might hit start to playhead here. I like this bit, but I'm not sure if I'm done with the rest of the clip, so I'm going to add a cut with E, which is called razor. Keep playing. Oh, this bit's also quite nice. So I may press E again. And there we go. So let's head over to the keyboard shortcuts. Now this one is called razor. So timeline razor, and we can change it here if you want, guys. And again, don't forget to delete the other usages of E if it's somewhere else, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so I've made 2 cuts to this clip, and now I just want to get rid of the rest because I'm done. And for that, I'm just going to press A. If you notice, when I pressed A, it brought the clip in front to where that is now. So the name of that is called a ripple delete. So let's have a look and find that in the shortcuts. Ripple delete. So it's an edit timeline, ripple delete. I put A, edit timeline, ripple delete. All right, guys. So just hit pause if you need to change this to your own setting. Just do one bit at a time. Type in the shortcut that you want if you're using another platform before and you're used to it. And don't forget to delete it if it's used anywhere else. Okay. What if you just want to delete it and you don't want to ripple the timeline? Well, you can use a cut command. Now, for me, I've put that as X. Let's search for cut. So cut timeline, cut X. So you can change that, guys. And I think the default might be Control X. So I might just add that in. If you guys are used to pressing Control X, these preferences are totally up to you. I know a lot of these default commands like copy and cut and paste, you press Control in Windows, but because I use these so much, I've also just changed them to be used without the control. So I can just press X, etc. So X is cut, but it leaves the timeline where it is. Right, let's have a pause there, guys, because that's a great start. Have a little practice, guys. Make sure those are all set up. I don't want to overwhelm you just yet. We're going to go into part 2 when you're ready. Just to note, I'm going to give you guys a document you can download and print out. So you've got all of my keyboard shortcuts. You can just reference that document. And if you want to edit it with your own, just edit that Word document and put in your own buttons. And there you go. That'll be a handy reference whilst you get used to working with a new platform.